Hello everyone, welcome back at my next series or next video, which I'm posting always on my YouTube channel or any other platform on social media. And this time the sequel, as I said, about the police and police terminology and jargon. And today it's pretty interesting. Communication terms inside the force. So how the police guys, the law enforcement officers are communicating. Effective communication is paramount in police work. Often specific codes and phrases are used to ensure quick and confidential information exchange. Here you will discover the police terminology that is frequently used in communication. There are much more, of course, but these ones are quite nice, and especially when you are watching movies, series with this kind of terminology, you will be maybe better involved, and maybe you will have more like fun or entertainment or understanding of what's going on. The first one is dispatch. Dispatch, the centralized place where calls are received and sent out to officers. Dispatch is not only for police, there is other actually meaning of this term, but yes, it's the centralized unit where all the calls are actually received, and then they send it out to all the other stations or officers. The number 2 is radio code. Radio code is numeric or alphabetic code communicated over the radio for confidentiality. So when they want to say something specific, so they have some codes which they say it because they know that especially criminal gangs or some kind of people who are involved in criminal activity can actually really like wiretap them. The next one is APB, which is the abbreviation, All Points Bulletin. All Points Bulletin. And it means the broadcast from one police station to all others in its network about a wanted person. So when some person is on the run or they are chasing someone and they all know the name, or they know that, okay, this guy might be around in the neighborhood or somewhere around, then they actually broadcast this term APB or All Points Bulletin. Means that all the others get the information and they can help, and they can actually search for the perpetrator or wanted person or some criminal. The next one is undercover, working in disguise or in secret. A lot of police officers, or not officers, more like investigators or police criminal investigation officers, they work undercover, or usually we don't even know, or anyone from that gang or somebody from that kind of group where they are infiltrated think that they are undercover, but they basically pretend to be part of the gang, part of the criminal organized group, and they work in disguise and they pretend, or in a secret, so nobody knows that they are actually law enforcement officers or from police. The next one is stakeout. Stakeout is the surveillance of a location or a person to gather evidence. Stakeout is somebody is actually, we see it in the movies or series, that is the two police guys, or sometimes just one, sitting in the car or going around in a neighborhood and actually watching and survey, or that kind of term as a noun, surveillance of a location or a person. So they are actually chasing, or they are following that person to gather evidence. BOLO is another actually abbreviation, which means be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, so it's actually an acronym of this, BOLO. An alert, to be watchful for a specific person or vehicle. So when there is an alert that this guy must be watched, or that person must be actually followed or chased specifically, or some vehicle must be chased, then it's be on the lookout. Again, it's probably broadcasted into all the cars available in the neighborhood or in that location. Then the next one is a radio code, which is 10-4 or 10-4, which is very specific, and it has a very nice history, why they use it. Radio code for acknowledgement or understood. Something like, it's okay, I got it, something like that. And they use this code because the origin of police officers saying 10-4 or 10-4 dates back to the use of a coded language called 10 codes by law enforcement and emergency services. These codes were developed to facilitate clear and concise communication over radio systems. 10-4 specifically means message received, understood, and acknowledged, and has become a widely recognized way for officers to confirm understanding or agreement. While the use of 10 codes has declined in some regions, 10-4 has persisted as a colloquial expression in police and popular culture. So in some regions and in some countries, definitely they don't use it anymore. They say acknowledged, got it, like I've received, and okay. But in some cultures and in some, as we can see, colloquial expression, they still use it. So they can still use it, and it is actually radio code for I got it, understand, I acknowledge, it's okay. Something like that. So they use this specific code. The next one is code blue, and code blue, I think it's quite often used in some series, typically refers to an emergency situation or a threat. So it means that when there is a threat in the neighborhood or somewhere around, or an emergency situation, so maybe they have a echo or they have something like they know that something is going to blow up or explode, or some gang of people is going to actually commit crime, so they have a code blue. A wiretap is interception of communication, usually phone calls for surveillance. Wiretap, we know that law enforcement officers, they can use it basically to understand the dialogue, understand the communication among potential criminals or perpetrators. So usually phone calls or something. It was widely used basically in the past for getting the mafia, getting the crime or criminal organized people wiretap. It's used basically primarily for these reasons, but of course we can use it also for other reasons, but police, they use it for this. And then the last one is informant, and it's a person who provides information to law enforcement about criminal activity. So informants are usually sometimes like ex-criminals, or sometimes people who are actually involved in criminal activity. Many times it might be prostitutes, it might be pimps, or it might be people who are not really like big criminals, but they are involved in drug trafficking activities, or they know a lot of people around, in the undergrounds, from the disco clubs or from the special pubs where the drug trafficking is going on or drug dealers are meeting. So informant might be the person who is not really big criminal, but might have a problem with the law. And this person is usually giving a lot of information or some facts about the criminal activity of some people they are involved with. So I think that's all for this. It's quite interesting, and these communication terms offer a glimpse only into a dynamic and often high-stakes world of law enforcement interaction. By understanding this, you will grasp the efficiency and confidentiality emphasized in police dialogues. It's a unique language designed for swift, effective exchanges. So I think that this was just a glimpse. Of course, they use a lot of others, but we maybe are getting actually a little bit closer to understanding more from the crime movies, thrillers, and some nice series. Thank you very much. See you next time.